So the third step in design thinking is ideation. And I know I say this every single time, but this really is one of my most enjoyable steps. And it really is about getting people together to brainstorm and generate creative solutions, often to problems that have been very vexing and that we're not sure how to solve. And yet, when we come together and we follow the design thinking process, this process of ideation actually can result in some really, really interesting and exciting and innovative solutions. There are a lot of ways you can approach ideation. That just remember this is about generative thinking for radical ideas. You can often do a lot of brainstorming, sharing ideas. It's about diverging and converging. So coming together and then separating, saying yes and not but. So you've got to try and have people to suspend judgment. The focus is on exploring a large number of creative ideas about what could be. Later, you'll prototype a couple, but right now we need to generate as many as possible, and then we'll synthesize and prioritize them. And the idea is about being creative and innovative and exciting. Let's put aside practicality for a minute and do some dreaming. As I said, it's about diverging and converging, creating choices, as many ideas as possibly can. And this is the traditional training of designers and artists, exploring, imagining possibilities, reframing, yes, and what if, trying different perspectives, thinking about extreme cases. What would an extreme user do here? Really increasing ideas as much as possible. And then once we've got as many ideas as we can, then we come back into the convergent thinking. We make decisions, we decrease, we cluster, and we connect, and we test. And this is this analytical thinking. It's probably the training of many of us, of managers and engineers, being very practical and focusing on, yes, this is how it is. And sometimes we've got to put aside that part of ourselves to really step into this creative divergent thinking space. And luckily, there's a number of tools that we can use to help teams be creative, to think big. You really got to encourage that. Anything is possible. Moonshot thinking dialogue. Really got to suspend all kind of negativity and really focus on imagination in this stage. So there's a lot of things we can do. Brainstorming, of course, generate ideas verbally through discussion. I also like a thing that's called brain writing. That's where people generate ideas quietly, individually, through silent idea generation. And that can ensure that the less dominant people get to have their voice said as well. You can do often the motto really is quantity over quality. Tell people, right, we're going to get 10 ideas in 5 minutes. Go, go, go. This can be an individual or a group. You can start, people write them on a sticky note. They write a headline that describes the idea, add up to 3 bullet points, add more context or details, and then pin them around the room. And you may choose to group and theme these. You might okay, any kind of ideas around technology, put them here, systems here, people here. And at least at the beginning, just generate as many ideas as possible. Later on, you can do different tasks for grouping and voting on them. And you can see these images here. People later got sticky dots, and everyone got 3 dots, and they could vote on their favorite ideas. That was how we themed them down. Okay, so from that, we managed to, pick on a couple to develop further to prototype. But really at the beginning, it's about that generative thinking, getting as many ideas as possible. You got to make sure that people capture every idea, regardless of their feelings about them. You can assign a scribe or have everyone write on post-it notes, and really got to tell people that all ideas are welcome. They've got to build on the ideas of others, got to maybe use gestures, encourage visual ideas and drawing, keep on brainstorming. Really want to fail often and early. Try and have only one people speak at a time. But really, this team is about brain dumping all the ideas you can. You might want to have okay, we're going to do 30 ideas in 10 minutes or 101 ideas in 30 minutes. And these are the categories we've got. We've got to have at least a third in each of these categories. A long shot, those ideas are basically impossible, delightful, challenging but possible, and practical, easy or doable. And then disregard the practical ideas and explore the others and say, right, you got to pick one from a long shot or from delightful that one or two that you're going to develop for prototyping. You do a crazy 8 method. This can be kind of fun. You just break an A4 piece of paper into 8 boxes, or create a 4x2 grid on your online whiteboard. Set the timer to 1 minute and tell everybody, rightio, you've got to do one solution, one potential solution, and it could be text or sketches in that box. Okay, right, now we're going to move to the next box. We've got 8 minutes, 1 minute to draw a solution or write a solution in every box. Okay, and you keep on going, 1 minute timers until all 8 boxes are filled, and then the groups present them to each other or talk through them at their tables and pick a couple to take forward. A note on sketching, often people, they feel they can't draw or don't like to draw. Really, you've got to try and develop the creative confidence to draw. And there's a great YouTube video here on sketchnoting and a mini workshop if you want to develop that. We'll talk more about sketching and drawing and some of our other activities, but it is it's a great way to communicate. You can do a tool called Scamper, which uses 7 words as prompts to think differently and explore new possibilities. Okay, how can you substitute that, combine it, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, or reverse? Scamper. You can do a mashup. Mashup is kind of cool. You bring odd or unexpected things together to spark fresh ideas. The more ideas you come up with, the better the chances you're going to reach a truly brilliant solution. And also constraints help too. Constraints and quick sprints drive creative solutions. And it helps us start down the path from the ridiculous to the radical solution. Here's some handouts about a mashup. So here's 2 categories, elements from a hospital experience and things we'd find in a hotel. And you bring them together. Okay, so an example here is hospital room minibar. Fridge filled with healthy foods and drinks in each hospital room. So the idea is you combine ideas from the 2 different lists and you put them together and you see if you come up with a different solution. And you can do that in drawing too. So you can be like, okay, wildest ideas, sketch plus a title or tagline for 3 to 5 ideas. Okay, so try and be creative. You might want to have people draw a collage of utopian visions of the future. And maybe they do some pictures and they sketch it out. You could do the 5 whys method here again. I often like to do the 6 thinking hats, and I ask each person to be the voice of a different thing. So Edward de Bono came up with this, and he talked about having the white hat for information, red for emotions, black for facts, yellow for optimism, and green for creativity. And a colleague and I have used this in a theory storing perspective. So I've asked different people to be the voice of different aspects. So person 1 is the voice of biopolitical theory, so design with nature in mind. Person 2 is the voice of nudge theory, how we might nudge things. And in a sort of a different perspective lens, you could say, okay, there's 7 people around the table. I want 1 person, you, Sam, you're the voice of technology. Sarah, you're the voice of place. You think about how we can redesign the place to solve this problem. Sally, you're the voice of policy or systems. What can we do in terms of changing policy or systems in this space? So you can actually allocate each person to be the voice of a different response. You can actually put some constraints around it. Okay, what if it costs $1 million to implement, or under 25 cents? What can we do here under 25 cents? What if it took more than 40 hours or under 30 seconds to complete this experience? You could do some role playing. How would a 3-year-old do this? What about Luke Skywalker? What would he do? Is there someone famous in your community or a local hero? What would they suggest? Really just want to encourage people to step outside the comfort zone and be as creative as possible. Ideation is a lot of fun, and I've just given you a few ideas for how you might do it. So have a think about, what approach most resonates with you, and then experiment with that.